It's IdoNotes episode number 123. I sit with Rajat, the founder and CPO of Bunchball, the gamification solution for connections. Damn, what a fine product. Hey everybody, it is episode number 123 of IdoNotes. I had a chance to sit down with the Bunchball CEO, Rajat, and what we found was we did about 25 minutes or so of not only live demo work, but of an actual interview. What I was able to do is redo the beginning of the interview with him before he had to jump off on a airplane somewhere else. But I have the entire walkthrough saved. I'm just going to lose his audio overlay of the top, but I'll do the video and audio walkthrough for you of that part. So what you're going to see first is the interview, then we're going to do the walkthrough, and then we'll come back to maybe the end of the interview. Otherwise, episode 123, I want to thank Rajat for all his time. He is the founder and CPO of the actual product at Bunchball, your gamification solution for Lotus connections. Pay close attention, guys. This is what they say the future is going to be for your social business integration. Well, everybody, if you're seeing this, that means the other file's screwed. I'm honest with my listeners. Episode 120-something, Rajat, founder and CPO of Bunchball. Guys, sorry, we just about 25 minutes of live walkthrough work, and the video file's there, but it says it's corrupt. So we're doing it quick to get the start in, just in case we want to run. So, you know what, give them the 2-minute spiel on Bunchball, how long you guys have been around, things like that, and then we'll talk about Nitro.
Yeah, sure. So I started the company in 2005. We've been doing gamification since 2007, which is using characteristics from games, things like competition and real-time feedback and transparency and teams to motivate people. So we built a web services platform that does that and have been selling it to a lot of consumer companies for the last 5 years, including Warner Brothers, Hasbro, MySpace, NBC, USA, Telemundo, Sci-Fi, you name it, powering fan engagement programs, powering loyalty programs, powering online ed, all sorts of things. And then just recently, last year, we started doing work in the enterprise and built on the Salesforce.com platform, now on the IBM Connections platform.
Yeah, I saw that. So you mentioned earlier, we'll tell everybody we're shorting it up, but you met them at Enterprise 2.0.
Yes, exactly. Met Sandy at Enterprise 2.0. She said, can you build something in time for Lotusphere? We said, yes. We love building really fast demos and seeing what the audience response is like. For Salesforce, we built something in the 6 weeks before Dreamforce, and then one best new app on the Force.com platform. Nice. And then so for Lotusphere, we're like, well, we got 2 weeks. Let's build something really good. And so we did. We built an app called Level Up. There's a video of it now up on YouTube, and we're going to show a walkthrough of it later. Yep. But it's basically an app that gets users onboarded onto Connections, because Connections is a complex piece of software. It can often be daunting to learn, and you need people to get in, to be exposed to all the functionality that's there, feeling a sense of mastery and fluency, and then directly experiencing the benefit of using the platform so that they're much more likely to give it a chance, right, and adopt it.
And now this is, I have the website up, so it's Nitro for IBM Connections.
Yes.
But Level Up is what it's seen as of inside of Connections?
Yeah, so Nitro for IBM, Nitro is the name of our web services platform. So Nitro for IBM Connections is the name of essentially like a family of products.
Okay.
The first of which is called Level Up. And Level Up is really, it's a 27 mission application that teaches your users how to use all the functionality available in Connections. And once you're done, you're done. You're through it. You're done. You're like a Connections wizard, and you don't need it anymore. And then the next product that we're releasing is the same kind of thing we've done on many of our other customer platforms, which is the sustainable engagement solution. How do you get people to use Connections on an ongoing basis? And so that's more of instead of content being the arc, like in Level Up, there's 27 missions that you do, and then you're done. It uses time as the arc.
Okay.
Every month, every quarter, the thing resets, and you have a whole new set of things to do.
Okay, everybody, we're going to start with this is the Bunchball page telling you gamification works. But what we did is we were able to look a little bit at Nitro, which is the dashboard stuff that's going on. So we have a couple things that are set up with Rajat that we were able to walk through with him. Is if we can jump ahead one here, we'll get some information on Nitro itself. Enterprise gamification is the solution of what's coming in the future, according to them. You can look at Kudos is out now, the badges from ISW, as well as now Bunchball jumping into it. So they built this Nitro platform for numerous products. It's not just for Connections. They have it for other platforms as well, including like SalesPlace and the others. But the idea is Nitro for Lotus Connections. It's a platform that he'll talk about when we go back to the video with Rajat, but it's a hosted solution. So you get to increase, user engagement is the idea through this with the gamification. So the website has a bunch of information for you. You're able to take a look at that. I'll let you go ahead and read the website on your own, and we'll link to it in the show notes, of course. But as you see it on the screen, it's bunchball.com under their products, and you can click Nitro for IBM connections. So let's jump ahead and let's take a look now at the site itself. We're going to go into the profiles. We've already logged in. He was kind enough to give us a login account that can see everything and do everything, but it starts out blank. So Ed Elliman is a blank profile. As you can see, there's nothing there, no information. So we're going to close and take a look at a little bit what you can do. You have normal tabs except for level up missions. So we'll select the missions, and you can see it's going to give you a bunch of different levels that it has below. So already we've got an idea of what we want to do to start increasing and getting part of the gamification from them. Ready, Set, Go is where everybody starts. Now, they do have some fixed things that he talks about, the number of levels and things you can do, but you can actually tweak and set things as you need to make it work for you and work in your environment. There are a few settings, but the first part you start at, if you see on the far left, you're at level 1, and your next mission is to Ready, Set, Go, and that's to actually start implementing things inside the environment itself. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual what you do inside of it a little bit. You can see there's a few choices here. We're going to, as I said, start at the beginning. The user won't see a lot of the advanced stuff yet. You can see the different levels are grayed out as they talk for the missions themselves. They're going to see what's coming up next, though, however, when they get into it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to level 1. And let's learn more about it. If you hover over, it's going to tell you what you need to do to start getting some of those badges and some of that information lit up for you. What's cool about this and what I like so much about it was it gives the user something to work for. So the first thing we're going to do is edit the profile. We'll let that load up from him. So easy enough. The photo was one of the things that we needed to get the actual start with the gamification. We'll choose the file. And I get to play around with this a little bit. So now that it's changed, we're going to actually preview the image, of course. There's the image. We'll set the crop size that needs to be done. There we go. As usual, good enough. Same for everything else. We'll save and close. And off we go. So there's the actual update. It says what the update is. My picture's now showing as a profile on the side. And congratulations down the corner. Ready, Set, Go hasn't been completed. So it gives you a pop-up as well in part of the integration. So we'll go look at the actual missions. It refreshes. There we go. 33% progress. It's complete. I see it's checked off. I've already completed one. I feel proud about myself. I've uploaded a picture at this point. It says on the left under my level up, it says I've actually done that. So from here, well, the user should start thinking about level 2. I can see the friends that are already involved with it, which is cool. And that really drives you to want to participate, right? You want to be on the higher leaderboard or equal to your friends. You want to be one of the lower ones. You can see my picture popped up above under level 1 up there in the left. So you actually want to be able to compete with everybody. It's like the Foursquare and the others. You want to become part of the environment, part of the engagement. So if you look at the colleague itself, you can see exactly where they are. So their level up on the side shows the progress, shows what they've done as well, and what their next mission is. So you're able to see directly where you compete with them while you're working on this and while you're doing this. I can see this with coworkers and others. Could be very important. So congratulations, because I went and followed my coworker, right? Now I get another one because I've actually gone and followed somebody. So what I'm going to get is their status updates that they actually push out through the network and connections, which then shows up in my activity stream in my feeds, as well as my notifications, and I've got myself another badge. Now, if I want to see what they've actually done as a person, I can see how far they've gotten, which is kind of cool, is the different levels inside of it. So they've actually gone way beyond where I have in level 1. They're into level 2. They're into the orange. They've got a few more things they need to complete before they can get up to level 3. That's one of the key things about this is inside the level you have subtasks to take you along, and you can see they're color-coded, the green and then the orange. Makes it really easy to identify where somebody is, how much they've done, how far they've gotten, as well as what they need to complete. Simpler, as you saw, 1 through 4, when I was at the beginning one for level 1, then it moves into these higher number tasks to get me going past that. I should say 1 through 3 for the beginning, and then on to number 4. So let's go back, and we go to the level up again. And you can see now on the left it said 67%. It says I just completed it, which puts it in my status notifications automatically. And a lot of this is administrator controlled. Remember that, which is awesome about the settings. We're going to look at that in a little bit. So we'll go back to the missions. We'll see what we've completed. It's going to refresh. It's got 1 and 2 done. We're going to scroll down here and we'll take a look and see what we need to do on 3 in just a second. But now notice my picture has completed level 1. It's completed I shouldn't say level 1. Section 1, section 2, which is part of level 1 in the green. Now we need to work on 3 so we can get ready to move on to level 2. So I was saying level earlier, but I really want to make sure that's clear and you understand. It's parts of the entire package is what it is. So now I need to be a team player to participate further in the actual gamification of this for connections. The easiest way, as you can see on the screen, is for me to join a community and get involved with it. Now, this was something I didn't notice. I kept asking who the leaders were in each section, and Rajat finally pointed out, your screen's too small. So there is a thing with sizing that you can scroll across. I was able to make my window browser bigger, and I could see the leaders that were on it. So I was on a MacBook when I filmed this. So keep that in mind. So my real estate of the screen was actually a little bit different, and I didn't know this column was there, and he kept referring to leaders. So eventually, I found out that I needed to expand it because I kept telling him it's not there, it doesn't exist. Now you can see everything showing up, and this is actually part of it as well. So let's jump over to communities. We'll look at public communities. Remember, step 3 was for me to join a community. Now we'll find one in here, and I believe he pointed one out for us here. There's global sales. Now I shrank it back down so I could see the whole screen at once. Now we don't need the leaderboard where we are right now. So I can start a community, I can join a community, but going into one right now for the public communities, you can see I'm not following, I'm not part of it. So if I select join, so now we scroll down the page, there it is. Congratulations, you just leveled up. So I'm going to jump up to the next level, which is orange. I've completed step 3 in level number 1 and moved along. So next mission, as you can see down on the side, is the judge. So I actually have another step, but I'm showing I've reset myself back to 0 under your next mission because I haven't done anything under this orange step yet. So I've reached level 2. I've completed 3 steps. So now I've got to go into step 4. So Rajat can get me on that a little bit from earlier when I kept saying level. But it does make a difference between the two. So now if we go back to my profile, as I was under Ed, and look under the actual missions themselves, you're going to see, as it refreshes itself, there we go. Green is done. We're into the orange. I have to do the Explorer badge. It's almost like being a Boy Scout. And this one has a whole bunch of steps. We were laughing about this a little bit. So this one adds on. The first one had 3. This one's going to actually go from 4 to 12. So it gets progressively harder. And the idea is to get you more actively involved with the system, to get the user more actively participating. The more you do, the more you get, the more participation, and the better it is for you. So let's jump over. And what we're going to do is look at the management console. So you understand how that part worked. I wanted to see what was behind the scenes. So we're able to control here is actual information that's pushed to the user based upon the levels. So the screen we're on now, as you can see, deals with the level specifically. The actions themselves are things to be completed. They read and see all the different actions that are inside the environment, which is huge. So it's amazing they see this because the APIs are there for connections, for them to integrate with and actually see and pull for you to actually, configure any different settings that you want. I was pretty much impressed with the amount of information they're actually digging into. From the profiles, the wiki pages, communities, all that stuff that you saw as we scrolled through. You can find and you can do a search to help make this a little bit easier, but there's activities in there, there's blog entries, community creation as well as following. So anytime one of those things is triggered, you can build that in to be part of a step that's done to make yourself level. So here's the challenges themselves. These are the parts that you just saw. When I was going through as a user, as you look, there's the 3 steps that are under level 1 or the challenges that are there. And if we open up level 2, you'll see where I was on Explorer. So I was right there on Explorer, plus those as we go down. And then level 3 and 4 actually get a little bit deeper as you go. As you can see, the colors are also changeable. The icons are changeable. You can see on the right all the different settings you can do, from the categories, the description, where you are, give it a name that you want, what the notification is. Is it repeatable? Or is it not repeatable, which I liked a lot, meaning could there be something they have to do more than once to make this trigger? Once you make a change in here, you'll want to save an update and get it out. Now, the cool part about this is that this is a live interface that affects everybody, so keep that in mind. So Rajat wanted me to scroll down a little bit so you can see that you can actually change and upload different logos and icons. I couldn't see that at first, and that was just part of the layout, once again, of the UI and the real estate. So it does take a little more real estate on these screens. So next up, we jumped over to the users themselves. So in here, I can get a summary. As you can see, I can look at user IDs. I can do a first and a last name. I can check for different levels. The idea is being able to get information on the users that are there and where they are in the progress of the system. Notifications, you can change the style that they receive inside these notifications, which is really cool. That gives you different capabilities and interface for the user for what they're going to see inside of it, which I thought was kind of neat. You don't have to be stuck with the same one every time, or every environment doesn't have to be the same. You can have a lot of uniqueness throughout the environment with these. You can change the CSS, you can put HTML, change the details, and then there's global settings that are override it all. As you can see, the amount of time that it shows that's on there, as well as the frequency. And the analysis. Let's look at the analysis themselves. This was really cool. The analysis allowed me to see currently the amount, the total users, new users, how much change it's had. You can actually dig deep into the time. Now look at the timeline at the top. We have a day, a week, a month, 3 months, or a full year. You're able to see the interaction and the metrics, true analytics of how they're interacting with the level up system. So you can see what steps have been completed by percentages and numbers, the dates, the time when they were doing them. If I release a new badge into the environment or a new level, how fast are they adopting to it and getting the change that's involved? This was really cool. How many points have they earned and how many have they spent? So there's a rewards mechanism too that you can build in. With earned and spent, you're really giving the users control over not only how fast they go out and they earn, but then what they do with it once they earn it. I found that pretty impressive when we were looking at the product. I was excited to see that. So it gives it almost like a fake monetary value in many ways. So you can see the actions that we were looking at before based upon profiles. These are where we originally started inside of when you're configuring the levels and the steps inside the levels, but you can see the percentage of actions have been completed as well as the challenges that have been done. So you can see the amount of people currently that did the ready, set, go. You can see the team player. You can actually get in, bookworm is up there still. We don't have enough people completing that. You can see, the downward trend and slides on those as well. Once again, you could change the date range if you wanted to see exactly where they were in the dates. Being able to do this is probably pretty much a key in how you're going to get your users to adopt, because then you can see which ones aren't applicable, which ones are succeeding, which ones are being done quickly, where you maybe need to add additional steps or give them better rewards. This is a great way to really engage the users, and I really liked the interface. Now, I know eventually this will grow a little bit. So personally, I think there's a lot more things that will show up or could show up on here in terms of analytics. You could be able to drill down much more. I know people are going to want reports that are, fully customizable when they export, and to be able to show people things like that at meetings. Great. All that'll get there. It's all data that's stored in the environment already. Those are just reports that are going to have to be requested as time goes on. So let's close out here and jump back to the rest of the interview with Rajat to close out episode number 123. Appreciate his time. I'm glad he gave us access rights to see it all. Don't forget to look up Bunchball and Nitro for IBM Connections to get some more information. And here's the rest of the time that I spent with him doing an interview. Nice. Now, I'm going to ask this, and so everyone understands we talked about a little bit, is where's the data itself is stored? So you guys are a software as a service platform?
Yes. We're all cloud-based software as a service. And so we're running, I can't remember the numbers, but we've touched 125 million users across our network. We're tracking billions of actions. Companies like MySpace are using us, and we've scaled. We've just ran a campaign with MTV's European Music Awards.
MySpace needs more logos and badges on it. Yeah, it's just what it needs. It's just what it needs. But you're not storing data, though. You guys are not the data engine.
We're not storing any actual user data. What we're storing is user activity data.
Okay.
So Chris just changed his profile photo. Chris just added a new blog post. Chris just posted a status update or followed something. That's the level of detail that we're capturing. And then we're not even typically capturing the Chris part either. Like you have a unique ID inside Connections, which looks like a big credit card number, and we're using that. So we have this credit card number did these behaviors. So we're not really storing any personally identifiable information in our system.
Right.
So that's one aspect. And then the other is, for companies that are concerned about the security of that data, we have passed multiple security reviews, including General Electric, Meritz, AMIA, and others.
And Meritz is based here in St. Louis, too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
As a matter of fact, where I am, because I know some of their people. But you just said something interesting that I just thought of as a way. You're almost like, and this doesn't run in Notes, so everybody knows this is not a Domino-based app. It's Connections, but you're like a public-private key. You take a public streamable key and it can only match a unique ID inside their company in their own data store. So you can't match the two together.
No, exactly.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it for all those. I have a large European base of watches. I know that, Safe Harbor Acts, EU stuff, everything else. That's a really good way of knowing that it's like a public key infrastructure. You never know who's matching it, and you can't tell because you're not caring about who the user is. You're just caring about what they click on or what they do in terms of that.
Exactly.
That's slick.
I mean, the other interesting thing that a lot of folks at IBM have gotten really excited about is we're kind of this neutral third-party service that can interact with multiple systems.
Right.
So you've got connections, you've got WebSphere Portal, you've got Wickham, maybe you've got some other tools that aren't IBM, like Salesforce or an SAP or something, Sugar CRM, and all that data can feed into our system for those users and then can be manifested inside connections. Connections can be the place where people see all their missions and their statistics and how they're doing, but all the data can be collected across multiple disparate systems. So you have the ability to motivate people not just across connections, but across anything that you're running inside your company.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, so everybody knows we had a longer one. If it comes back, you won't see this video anyway, but if not, I'm going to go through and do a demo stuff because I know you've got a hard stop to get out of here. Where should they go to get information? Because we're going to put it at the end anyway, but where should they go to get information about contacting you guys, getting hooked up with their environments, things like that?
Yeah, they should visit us on the web. They can either go to bunchball.com, bunchball.com, or nitroforibmconnections.com, which rolls off the tongue, but you can go there as well. And that will take you directly to the page, and there we'll have links to more information, a video demonstrating the product, and links to get more contact from our salespeople.
Okay. Well, if all goes well, we'll have the one that you and I did. If all doesn't, then they'll have me walking through the screens, but I understand it. It's a powerful thing. This is impressive. When I first saw the announcement, as many know, I blogged about it before Lotusphere, and I got some heat, but it's not because of my fault. I just heard about it. But I didn't know what you're going to do. And now that I've seen it in action, it makes a lot more sense of how you integrate it into the UI and do everything else, and that it's a service. That you guys are providing a service. It's
a service. It's seamlessly integrated into connections. It's using all official APIs.
Okay.
The widget API, the event SPI, the Atom API, footer.jsp configuration, all that. And so it should be kind of upgrade-proof along with connections as well.
Awesome. Well, I know you've got a hard stop, everybody. Follow up here with the demo, and then if you have more questions, I'll put the contact information plus in the show notes and the link, and that'll be the end of it. So I'm glad you stopped by and everything else. As everyone knows, the CPO, when he got on, and I was like, your title's what? CPO, Chief Product Officer. All right, Rajat, you hang on one second. Everybody else, another IdoNotes episode, and you know what? We'll probably be seeing more of you pretty soon when you come out with the next release.
That's right.
Keep ready in. We'll take another interview. So hang on one second, everybody else. See you in a bit.